There we are.
Here we are. We are live then?
Yes.
We need a
Sweet.
countdown. Hi everyone.
Sorry. Yeah. I'm not in studio mode. I need to change to studio mode as well. There we are.
Hello people. Hello internet. How is everyone doing today?
Okay, now I need to mute this. Okay. Let's start. Okay.
Let's.
Oh no. Don't click the thing.
No clicking.
I know. I'm trying. All right. Okay. Welcome to the third dev stream of Book of Spirits. Today, we're going to talk about a bunch of things. We're going to talk about the playtest. We'll talk about the Everlast, and also what you can find in it. But first of all, I'll do an introduction. My name is Shay. I'm the community manager of Beyond the Screen Studio, and I'm here with Aviad. He's the lead designer and creator of the Beyond the Screen Studio and Book of Spirits.
Yeah. Book of Spirits. It's fun. It's good. Check it out.
Amazing. Okay. Last stream we talked about the empath class, right?
Yep. All about it. We had
Yeah,
it was months fly by. Raphael was here with us, talking all about the empath. That was fun.
Amazing writer. And we also talked about the resonance system, symbiotic role-playing mechanic, brings role-play choices, emotion into amazing storytelling, and it's absolutely insane. You can see it in the playtest that was released a week ago. Yeah. Okay.
Playtest.
Playtest.
What is that?
Go
what
check
is
it
happening?
out. Go look in the description. It's down. It's there. You have the forum. And
so let's clarify what's in there, right, Shai? Let's dive in. What can people expect in the playtest package?
Okay. So you have the resonance system, which I just talked about. We also have the empath class and the conduit class. Each of them has 3 brand new subclasses, and
they have 3 subclasses. Some of them were revised since you last saw
the conduit
them.
one. Yeah. The first 2 was Code of the Harvest and
yeah. So we added the new Code of the Furnace conduit in there, and also aside from the classes, there are also a dozen spells, I think.
Yeah.
A dozen, and 4 or 5 creatures that can be used to playtest stuff. So essentially, it doesn't matter if you back the campaign or not. You can get access to this playtest pack. If you join the playtest, all you need to do is go to the description of this video. There's a link there, and you sign up to a Google form. Let us know some stuff about you, and then you get the PDF in your email. And then later in November, you'll get a follow-up email with some questions about how your playtest went. Hopefully with some insights that we can use to then make the classes even better. And especially, I think the resonance system being a rather challenging thing to add to the microcosmos of 5e, because it's a new system. We are trying something that has not been done before, and we want to make sure it doesn't take away from the experience and makes a pleasing result for both game masters and dungeon and players. Game masters and dungeon masters. That's what I was about to say.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So we join the Discord. We talk all about that. We give you support with. Aviad is dying, but it's okay. I'll take over with writing the book. Don't worry.
My spirit will continue.
Which kind of spirit would you be?
Spirit of obsession.
Maybe Joy, I think. That fits
Joy.
you. Yeah.
Oh, you sweet summer child.
Okay. So join the Discord. We talk all about the playtest. If you have any feedback, anything, just join. We can help you. You can discuss things. If you're looking for a game, you can also write there. If you're looking for players for the playtest, you can also write there. And yeah, that's about the
Right.
playtest, right?
Yeah, I think that's about it. We hope that the creatures there are enough for GMs to kind of figure out some plot hooks. Right. There are spirits of anger there that can be easily tied to adventure. Spirit of sadness that can be used. We also have a spirit of I think it's a spirit of surprise, which is
Yeah, the Dazzler.
the Dazzler, which is quite fun and interesting. So you can weave all of them into an encounter, or two, or a mini adventure. You can, if you're the homebrewer GM, you can riff off some of the stat blocks and create your own wacky spirits. Until we release the rest of the book, so you can see everything we have in store. But yeah, we hope that's enough to playtest Resonance and the rest.
Yes. Yeah, you can use those spirits to try out the resonance system, and
All right, let's move on to other things, maybe.
Yeah, I can. Okay, what do you think? Should I show the PDF, or should I just go ahead and talk about chapter 2?
I mean, it's a really pretty PDF.
It is okay.
Maybe we can just scroll through it real quick.
All right.
And then we'll go on and talk about the Everlast and everything we've developed in the past month in chapter 2.
Oh yeah. All right. Transition. What is it?
Transition music.
You know what? I'm just gonna click it because it usually just works. Nope. Bastard.
Is the stream destroyed?
Yes, but this time it actually was destroyed. Last time it was just trolling. Let me see what I can do about it real quick.
I mean, if it's not working right away, then maybe we can just assume people can click on the description, get it, and then we can go on and talk about content which does not require any stream software stuff. How does that sound?
Stop studio mode. Because it's evil.
We appreciate your patience, everyone, as we are tackling OBS stuff.
Oh, I hate OBS, dude. This thing is annoying.
It is. What you are currently... I think we're seeing the resonance stuff on the screen, maybe?
Yeah. You want to talk about that? You can talk about that, yeah.
I mean, that's the resonance system, essentially, in a nutshell. It was just being able to weaken spirits and make them stronger with roleplay and with a couple of actions that we have introduced. But you know what? Let's not spend any more time on that. You can get the PDF just by clicking in the link and following the survey. So do that, and let's talk about everything we've developed in chapter 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you give me a brief sort of what is the Everlast?
Ooh, okay. So yeah, the Everlast. The Everlast is the home realm of the Animar. It is a plane of memories and emotions where everything we ever felt, I say we as the people, but imagine we as the people in the imaginary world have ever experienced. Everything is somewhere in the Everlast. The plane, it remembers. And through that, a lot of fun things happen. So when people feel things, when people feel emotions, they might manifest as spirits in the Everlast, or Animar in the spirit realm. You know, we use spirit and Animar interchangeably, and the spirit realm and the Everlast interchangeably. Just more specific terms to Book of Spirits. But Shay, you have something on the screen there.
Yeah, it works.
It works. All right. That's the playtest stuff. You can scroll through it real quick, Shay, just to show people. And I'll keep talking about that. So, that's the focus of the chapter. We have lots of rules about exploring the place because it's very different from the material plane. We have some random encounters which are non-combat encounters, so you can get a lot of exploration through that realm. It was very important to us that this will be an interesting place to visit because a lot of the book is going to happen there. Also, there are a few supernatural regions. We call them distorted regions because they are not normal, created by sort of magical interferences that change the realm. These might affect just the spirit realm, or it can also leak into the physical realm and create a lot of chaotic and interesting things for you to explore. Then we have some Everlast phenomena, which includes ethereal storms, empathy snares, convergences, siphons, lots of cool stuff. We'll talk a bit about that later on. And last but not least, this is the chapter where we talk about boons and banes. So for those of you who may remember from the Kickstarter campaign, boons and banes are a bit like potions, in a sense. They are like one-use effects that are either beneficial or not. And if it's a boon, you can essentially activate it and get a benefit. You sort of control when it happens in most cases. But with banes, you don't necessarily know what the bane does, but you'll definitely know when it happens to you. And it's, yeah. These are circumstances to interacting with spirits. And throughout the chapter, we provide a lot of opportunities to grant them to your players on explorations. Yeah, so that's just an overview of the chapter.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just currently looking at the empath and showing that and the all kinds of class features it has.
Yeah. So there's a lot in the playtest document. It's like almost 30 pages, I think.
Yeah, it's 27, but I would say it's like 25 without the intro and the outro. Yeah.
It's packed. It's really packed. So
it has art as well, you know.
Some art. We're still working on the empath art. So the empath section is a bit dry on stuff. But and also mind you, this is just a sample. I did layout for this one. Person who's going to do layout for the book is a trained professional in laying out books, so it's going to look even better than that. Yeah, so don't worry about it at all. We'll get you some really high quality stuff there. You say something, Shay?
Yeah, who is the person who's gonna do the layout?
Well, we have a few possible options there. We are not 100% certain yet, but all of the candidates are trained professionals. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, okay. So
maybe you can jump in real quick to the resonance page, and then we can move on to chapter 2.
Resonance. Yeah, so this is the fear spirit. Stifled, neutral, kindled. How the resonance. That is on page 22. Go look at it now. Join the playtest.
That's my favorite piece of the document. Yeah. And honestly, that's, if you playtest anything, please playtest resonance.
Oh my god, yes.
That's the most, I think the most impactful feedback we can get is on this system.
It's a big system that you worked really hard on, and it would be amazing to get feedback for that. Who made the art for it?
This art
Yeah.
for the Fear Spirit is made by
Yes, yes.
Tuan Pham. He
Yeah.
did a lot of our spirits, even before the Kickstarter campaign, back in the when we only published stuff on Patreon. He's been with us for a while. He's great.
Yeah. By the way, Aviad, when I'm looking at the PDF, I need you to be my eyes for the chat because I don't have 3 monitors, and if I minimize this screen, I can't, like, it disappears.
That's okay. That's okay.
Okay.
The chat is very supportive. People say it looks sick.
This is beautiful.
It's pretty. It looks good. Job, sorry if I'm butchering your name, says, I mean, the layout looks good already. I don't know how it can be improved. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
We are going to try.
I mean, you have years of experience. I've always loved the layout that you make.
For example, one example that I already know that I want to make better is I want visual cues for the creatures, so you know immediately when you look at the stat block what kind of spirit it is, what emotions are associated with it, and also which abilities are influenced by the resonance system. So you immediately know if a spirit becomes kindled, you know your eye will be trained to look at a specific icon that will let you know, oh, it gets access to this ability, or maybe it has the negative stifled icon next to the multi-attack, and then you'll know that when it's stifled, it affects its multi-attack feature.
That's amazing. I can't wait to see that. That sounds really interesting.
Yeah, okay. I want to really make it easy to use.
Okay. Yeah, let's move on. I mean, we looked through most of the thing, and you can just get it. So
yeah,
it's better.
All right. Let's move back to chapter 2 again. So the Everlast is a very interesting place. First of all, it's overlapping the physical realm, so that every place in the physical realm has an equivalent overlapping space in the Everlast. And essentially, the Animar, the spirits, can see these modes of light of the sparks of people, and they feed on the emotions that people are feeling. So that's the kind of you can imagine the Upside Down from Stranger Things, or the ethereal plane. Actually, long before we came up with the Everlast, we used the ethereal plane as our draft for this. There were a lot of publications on Patreon where we just used ethereal plane for spirits, and then we moved on and figured out that the Everlast has a lot of things that are different. And we wanted to create something new. We wanted it to be something distinct.
Okay, so what is actually the difference between the ethereal plane and the spirit realm?
Well, I'll start with how they're similar, and then we can move on to the difference, because the difference is I think we're going to cover all of them throughout the stream, but they are similar in the sense that they are both these realms that overlap with ours. There's a realm that that has ghosts, that has spirits, Animar. It's also any spell that allows you to see into the ethereal plane, essentially lets you see into the Everlast. So once you get the Book of Spirits, actually we recommend just switching it out, just using the Everlast instead of the ethereal plane. It's like the ethereal plane plus, almost. So anything from Wall of Force that can block movement in the ethereal plane also works for the Everlast. Spells like Blink and such work the same. But the Everlast is so much more, because it's almost like a living consciousness of the collective, of every sentient mind that exists or have existed in the past. So yeah, it's much bigger and it's much more interesting.
So those are the similarities, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the difference?
So the differences are Several. First of all, the Everlast is almost sentient in the way it behaves. So we often say that the Everlast remembers, and that's in the form of mists that float in the realm that have these unique colors and shapes to them. And when you interact with them, you might see visions from the past. These are actually memories in the form of mist. Perhaps dreaming minds nearby can also catch glimpses of the mists that flow through and see memories of ancient creatures who lived nearby, or for some reason the mist brought these memories here. Another big difference is the Animar, the inhabitants of the realm, are creatures that manifest through emotions, feed on emotions, and embody them. That's huge, because these creatures are not only derived from emotions, but they also kind of try to perpetuate the emotions that created them and bring more of it into the physical realm. Now, not all of them can affect the physical realm in a way that is significant, but those who can will try to. So if you have a place that is very, very miserable and it creates spirits of misery, and the spirits become strong over time, then they will try to perpetuate misery. And the more they grow on that emotion, the smarter they become, and the more means they have to accomplish that. So you might actually create or find situations that are just a feedback loop to very strong spirits.
So the more they feed, the more they learn.
Yeah, the more literally collecting more memories into themselves, more experiences into themselves, and making them smarter and more powerful.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It really is. So we want you to take your characters into the spirit realm. And to do that, you're going to have to cross the veil. The veil is the, let's call it the magical force that separates the realm. So naturally, the veil exists everywhere. Where it doesn't exist, something went wrong at some point. And we'll talk about distorted regions soon. But essentially, some places the veil is very powerful. It's very thick, and it makes very hard to cross the veil for spirits. So even spirits that can normally cross the veil and materialize in the physical realm struggle to do so in regions where it's thick. These are usually places that are vastly populated. The farther you go from the bastions of society, the thinner the veil becomes. And then in places where it's very thin, you may even see Animar that are on the other side of the veil, that are in the Everlast, as if they were on your plane. You just see them as ethereal creatures that are barely visible, but they are there.
So can they see the people on the material plane as well, just the same?
They can see the sparks of people.
Okay.
Yeah. So the
Just
spark,
the spark,
is like the soul.
Yeah.
Sort of. So when a creature with a soul feels something, there's a spark. You can imagine the spark as flaring with emotion, which are color coded for convenience.
Okay. We have. Okay. Go ahead, and then I'll. We just have 2 questions from the chat that are really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, welcome, Blackwell. Marcus Blackwell. This is the Book of Spirits dev stream. Yes, the veil is similar to.
It's very much inspired.
Yeah.
So
it's a big inspiration.
For those of you who don't know me yet,
show everything.
These are the 2 art books of Dragon Age that I have here.
He loves
I have all the books. I've played all the games. I'm excited for the Veilguard.
Yuki. Yeah, so and also we have Draken who asked He's such a nerd. He asked, is the Everlast like Giratina's Shadow Realm? I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is?
I don't. Is
Sorry,
Draken?
man.
Draken? Where is it from? Is it Is Giratina a world? Is it a book? A TV series? Let us know. It may be. Yeah, Dragon Age fans unite!
Yes.
I
Yes.
I love everything Dragon Age. Everything Dragon Age. I absolutely adore.
One day we'll play.
Stormlight Archives
Yes.
is another. I'm so glad. You know, I know that my job is well done when I see the chat mentioning my sources of inspiration for the book without me mentioning them. So yes, Stormlight Archive is also another big point of inspiration for Book of Spirits. We have a different Animar created from emotions, and they have their unique forms. And some creatures, the conduit class, you can see it as a player character bonding with spirits or binding spirits to themselves to unleash magical powers. So yeah, the emotion, the Shadesmar, everything.
Okay.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love the Everlast. Okay.
We gotta talk about chapter 2. We'll just stay on the inspiration.
Sorry. All right.
We can
All right.
join the Discord.
Well,
we can nerd out there.
If you want to nerd out more about Dragon Age and Stormlight Archive, yes, I'm on Discord.
Absolutely. I bought the audiobook. I'm so excited to listen
Let's
to
talk
it.
about the Veil. Okay,
the Veil. Veil crossings. The Veil. It's thin. Sometimes it's not.
Yes, exactly. Then there are places that are called Veil crossings, which are locations in which you can cross the Veil, so
like
people
gates.
can get in and out of the Everlast. And these locations are very interesting because they're not just portals; they are locations in which something happened. And the way to cross over is understanding the story of the place, meditating on some aspect, some emotional aspect of that story, and then you can, and then only then you can move on. So, for example, we have a few of them. We have one of them even was inspired by someone in the Discord chat. I can't remember their name, but it was a very good idea. We've with their permission put it in the book as well. So one example, the first one I wrote, is called The Moonlit Peak. A young man fell in love with the moon, so he climbed a peak to meet her. Every night she told him he should live with his own kind. Yet every night he rose again to see her. One dark eve she didn't cross his sky, and the young man wept. His tear-drenched hands slipped from the rock, and he fell. Upon death, moonlight brought his soul to his beloved in the heavens. Ever since, young couples climb the peak to confess their love. So this is a location with a clear story to it. The characters might arrive there, they may even notice that something magical is about, but there won't be any hints to what's going on. And in order to cross, they will have to figure out what the story was, or at least who the characters were and how they felt. And once they understand that and they meditate on that, for example, on the young man's love, in this instance, they will be able to cross over.
Yeah, so sometimes when specific things happen, that's only then that you'll be able to cross in the Veil Crossing. Yeah. Okay.
Do we have any more questions?
It doesn't seem... Oh. Demons, things like that. Oh. Asking more questions about...
more Dragon Age questions.
Yeah.
I'm happy to answer Dragon Age questions. So, the Book of Spirits doesn't have demons necessarily. We have Animar of emotions that would be considered demons in Dragon Age.
Yeah.
They have no. The rules are the same for them as for any other Animar. Animar is the only form of spirit that exists in the Everlast.
Yeah.
All right. So these are veil crossings, very interesting. Some of them are man-made. People have tried to create them. It's very interesting. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. There are a lot of examples in the full book on what they are and how to create them.
You can also talk on the Discord about ideas for your own veil crossings.
Yeah, we're still brainstorming them. Yeah, they might.
Yeah. Your idea might go into the book if you want to. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're quick.
If you're really quick, yes.
Okay, let's jump on to something else.
Yes. So you did say earlier that you want people to go into the spirit realm, into the Everlast. So what is it like exploring it? What is it like being in there amongst spirits? What do you see there?
So I think the first thing you will notice as you cross into the Everlast is that your body is almost glowing, because you'll see your own spark sort of glowing from beneath your skin. Also, it might be awkward to some people, because the color shifts might actually give away how you're truly feeling. So it's actually very difficult to deceive people about emotions in the Everlast. And you kind of emit this light. You're walking around and you see these chromatic mists floating about, tiny spirits everywhere. Most of them are too small to really do anything. They're like, you can think about them like small birds, or critters.
Yeah.
All around.
Emotions.
Think about Princess Mononoke, maybe, for some of these small spirit vibes. And you also see the same place you were, but it's all kind of ethereal. So for example, if we were in the Everlast of this room, I would be physical, I would be glowing, and everything else would be kind of transparent, and I could reach through it if I tried. So yeah, so you can move through stuff in the Everlast. You're not bound. If I were to jump off the building right now, in the real world, I'd die. But in the Everlast, I'd fall very slowly and nothing wrong would happen.
Yeah.
These are the key features sort of that you noticed outright. But then if you explore it further, you encounter the really weird stuff.
Okay, question. What happens when a spirit tries to pass to the material plane when, say, the veil is very, very thick?
It would have to make a save to succeed. So it's a very difficult. So this DC 20 charisma saving throw, and if it fails, it cannot try again for a while.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Any more questions from the chat before we move on?
How can colors be visible when emotions flare up? Or did you answer that?
How can colors be visible when emotions flare up? So think about it. If you're, say, you have a glow from your skin that is neutral, and then when you're angry, that glow becomes a bit reddish, and people can tell that you're irritated or even very angry, and you will also emit this mist that is pure essence that spirits require to sustain themselves. So if you're on the material plane, that essence goes directly into the Everlast from your spark. But if you're on the Everlast, you'll just see it appearing around the person, because they are exactly where their spark is. So that's how you'll be able to tell when someone feels a certain emotion. And in most emotions are not most, like we work with a palette of 8 emotions. Let's see if I remember all of them. Anger, anticipation, joy, trust, fear, surprise, sadness, and disgust.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Those are all of them.
And then, so these are the 8 core emotions. That's how we call them, and you will be able to see those. There are more complex emotions that are variations on these core emotions, or fusions of one or two or more core emotions. We call those compound emotions, and they create compound animar, which tend to be more powerful. I think we have more questions from before it. Are there?
Okay. We will get into that now, Marcos. Okay, let's talk about distorted regions because we need to get going. Yeah. So.
All right.
Mist enclaves, doldrums, memento etherealis, or
Okay, let's go.
ethereal memories. Okay, so let's talk about memento etherealis really quickly because we did talk about that last stream and the one before that, I think.
All right. So if we did talk about this, let's talk about something else, perhaps.
Doldrums.
So, distorted regions are places where things behave differently. So, for example, doldrums are places where there is no Everlast, where there is no spirit realm, and it's only the physical realm. And in fact, this is very unhealthy for living creatures with a spark because they, as you go into it, you start losing yourself. And the longer you stay, the longer you start to question why you're here, what are you doing. You'll start getting disadvantage on stuff. You may even lose your spark. So losing a spark is a condition introduced in the Book of Spirits. You might become sparkless, and that's very bad. You can die from this eventually. Try not to become sparkless. Okay?
Yeah, it's not fun.
Pretty bad.
But that's the adventure.
That's doldrums. There's also mist enclaves where there is no veil. So the Everlast and the material plane just converge into this one place, and everyone is both simultaneously in the physical realm and in the Everlast, and it gets crazy because these places are usually strongholds of very powerful spirits, and the entire region becomes very hyper magical. So you'll get like in Anger Enclave, for example, you'll get a lot of fumes, volcanic activity. The ground will suddenly break and crumble. The sounds of drums will deafen you. You'll feel your heart pumping when you go in there. There's like we have a very big random table effect for every sort of mist enclave out there.
Yeah, a lot of things can happen. It's like when the two collide and when the veil is sundered. So how are they made, really?
Well, it's quite difficult to create an enclave. The first thing you need to do is somehow create a convergence. You'll have to bring the planes together, and once they are together, a strong spirit can act as an anchor and hold the natural regeneration of the veil. So as long as the spirit exists and holds, the enclave remains. So the way to then remove an enclave is to get rid of the spirit or spirits that are anchoring it.
So what decides what kind of enclave it is?
Usually it's the spirit that is the anchor, right? If it's a very powerful anger spirit, then it's probably going to be an anger enclave. Although in some regions, the enclave can be determined by the natural, let's call it the state, the emotional state of the place. So remember we mentioned a very sad location that kind of perpetuate the sadness with spirits. So even if there aren't, if you went ahead and slain most sadness spirits and then created a convergence, the place is still kind of sad. And even if the anchoring spirit is a joyful one, the overwhelming sadness that permeates the plane might turn it into a sadness enclave instead. So it's a long answer for a short question, but it depends.
Mist enclaves are they're huge. You can do so much with them. I love them. They're one of my favorite things. My friends hate me for it. They hate those that word. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk a bit about Memento Etherealis, like really shortly, and then we'll get to boons and. Oh, we did talk about boons and pains.
Just a bit, but yeah, there's more to say. But
Yeah.
well, Memento
And then we'll
Etherealis
get to questions.
is Everlast trauma. Okay, you know trauma. I bet most of you do. We're young people, or I don't know. I assume traumatized by a lot of things. So
We play tabletop.
we play tabletop. We're all somewhat traumatized. Memento Etherealis is what happens when the Everlast is traumatized. It's when a lot of people feel something strongly all together all at once. When usually something very big is happening and a lot of emotion is connected to it. So, you can think about a war perhaps going on, and there's a lot of fear and a lot of anger and a lot of sadness and all of it, and a lot of people are feeling it all at once because it's very real. It's happening right. It's like it's imminent. And the Everlast is just filled with unfathomable amounts of essence, of potential, of emotional charge. And when that happens, the Everlast sort of gets stuck on that event, and you get this Groundhog Day situation where the event just loops over and over, and people kind of get stuck on it.
Yeah.
Well, not people. The Everlast gets stuck on it. People on the physical realm are fine.
Keeps repeating those illusions.
Yeah.
And keeps
They'll
on
see.
going.
So you might go into that place that had a war 100 years ago, and you'll still see the war. Like in the physical realm, it's fine. It's a clearing. But if you go to the Everlast, you'll still see the war going on, and every hour or two it will just reset, and you'll see the war happening again. Yeah, that's Memento Etherealis. It's fun.
Okay, question from the chat. What kind of creature type is a spirit?
Spirits are elementals. They are emotion elemental. You can think about the Everlast as the elemental plane of emotions and memories.
Can divine sense and things like protection, evil, and good detect them?
Yep. Anything that can detect or affect elementals affects Animar. You can summon Animar with elemental with summon elemental spell, conjure elemental, whatever.
So you're saying that some spirits can be good and some spirits can also be bad and things like that?
Yes, so it really depends. Emotion by itself is not good or bad. So alignment is a bit tricky. There are some Animar that tend to be more evil or more chaotic. So you can think about, say, let's take anger and put it to the extreme and call it rage. So a rage Animar would probably be very chaotic. And you can also think about anger spirits that are good. You can feel, for example, anger also guides us towards things that stand in our way, that require us to take action. So you can think about conviction in the face of adversity as a some sort of display of anger, and that emotion can be a positive thing, and that spirit may well be a good aligned, maybe still chaotic, but good aligned nonetheless.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions about distorted regimes, doldrums, anything?
I think I saw a few more questions.
Yeah.
How does judgment work for dead people? I think that was one. And how does spiritual possession work? These are two questions that I see.
Yeah,
here.
it goes back to the the differences between the ethereal plane and the spirit realm.
for dead people, so there are ghosts in the Everlast. The alignment system has no role in it. If a ghost gets stuck in the Everlast, it has unfinished business. When it moves on, it can move to any plane of your desire, whatever setting you want to play, or whatever, however it works. Classic D&D stuff would send a lawful evil spirit to the nine hells. So it's all the same. As for spiritual possession, so most Animar don't really possess creatures. Possession is still very much a ghost thing. We separate the two. So Animar are elemental spirits. They are not living nor dead. They are energy incarnate. So they when someone is angry, they manifest. Ghosts are still very much a thing. So a human ghost, for example, that can possess a creature, it would reside in the Everlast until it goes through the planes to possess a creature. Some powerful spirit may, like Animar, may be able to possess creatures. We still have not really figured that part out. So yeah, you may see it, but it's not a very common ability for Animar.
Okay, we need to continue. Let's talk about boons and banes.
Let's talk about boons and banes. Okay.
So they are one-time things.
Right, correct. So boons and banes are an innate ability that Animar have, where they can impart power to other creatures. And that means that, for example, a spirit of anger could impart a boon, and when you have that boon, you can activate it. For example, there is a boon that is called where is it? I'm opening it. It's called Wrathful Strike. So Wrathful Strike, for example, when you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can choose to consume this boon and deal maximum damage instead of rolling. Now, you can use it once. You get the boon from the spirit, and you use it once, and then it's gone. Banes are the same, but the exact opposite, in the sense that they are not good for you. So, for example, there is a bane that I wrote today that I find quite funny. It's called Hilarious Thoughts. Whenever you make an intelligence, charisma, or wisdom check, the GM may consume this bane to curse you with a terrible laughter, as with the hideous laughter spell.
Yeah, I can also see that they have rarity types.
Yes, boons have a rarity to them, so just like magic items. You have uncommon, rare, very rare, and legendary. The rarities are assigned to different challenge rating of Animar. So only, for example, Animar of challenge rating 11 or higher can grant very rare boons and banes. Mm-hmm. And that way we kind of scale the progression of boons and banes along with items, and we can provide more powerful features for higher level characters.
Okay, so what is the reasoning that an Animar would give a character a boon?
So there are many reasons that you can think of. One example is if you did something that helps the Animar, it might give you a boon. If you have felt the emotion that is associated with them and perhaps kindle them with the resonance rules, maybe they'll see it as a kindness and grant you a boon. Sometimes there's also an optional rule that we have created that people can actually throw out when they are playing it. Players sometimes manifest spirits because their characters feel things. Okay, so when the spirits manifest, they might actually give you a boon to thank you for doing that. We also introduce a rule that allows another optional rule that allows people to spend inspiration to say that they are actually maybe manifesting a small spirit, and then the DM determines which boon they get. That's an optional thing, so you may choose to opt into that or not. And with Banes, well, there are many reasons that you can also think about that. If the adventurers, pesky adventurers, have destroyed a place that was very sad, and the sadness Animar no longer have sustenance because of it, they might curse the characters for doing that. You know, they did a good thing, perhaps for people, but for spirits, it's quite a disaster. Let me tell you that, and they're unhappy. So yeah, they might get a bane for it. There are also
Cat.
Do you see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
She tried to jump.
She tried to jump up. She does that sometimes. So yeah, so these are the classic boons and banes. There's also a form of boons and banes that is more powerful, that is called fonts and hexes. These are essentially an upgraded version in which you get the same boon at the beginning of every day. Sorry, I thought the cat did something silly. She did. But right here. Anyway, fonts and hexes are just like boons and banes in the sense that they provide the boon. But if you have a font, then you just regain the boon at the start of every day. There's a cat. Yeah, that's mostly it. There are examples. You can see some examples for boons and banes in the starter sample.
Yeah.
And I think that's everything. That's everything in chapter 2 at least. It's still in development, but we are very happy with where it's going. And I think now we can answer a few more questions, perhaps.
Okay, let's talk shortly about what kind of... We have new people, so what kind of subclasses does the book have?
Subclasses. All right. So the book, aside from the subclasses for the conduit and the empath class, there are 5 subclasses for classic 5e classes. And these are the Oath of Eminence Paladin, the Cernomancy Wizard, which we have talked about in the previous stream, the Veil Ward Ranger, there's the Wraith Rogue, and there is a Circle of Harmony Druid. So these are the 5 new subclasses that you'll see in the book. They are not a part of the playtest, but we are doing some playtests, local playtests for them, and you'll see the full versions in the book.
Also, you will be able to create your own spirit. In addition to the incredible amount of spirits that
Right.
you'll have in the book.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Any more questions? I see a few unanswered. Are there spirits or anima that are old enough or powerful enough that they are almost godlike or Lovecraftian, depending on the spirit? So yes, there are. You can see a few examples of these. Along with the Kickstarter, we have, in one of the updates, we have published what I call the Book of Nightmares. There are spirits that have this primordial power almost to them, and they embody strange concepts that people feel from all over the world. They are very powerful, very high CR encounters. CR, 20 plus. We have a 20. I think the highest we got is 29. They are very powerful. They are more powerful than most creatures published in 5e books. Beware. They can easily result in a TPK. Just use them with caution. Anything else? Could Animar also be Warlock patrons, giving power to mortars in exchange for cultivating their preferred emotion? Absolutely. The nightmares we've mentioned, we didn't make a pact, a Warlock subclass for them, but we we could. You can. They are certainly powerful enough to do that, and also
I think
we
they
have
fit nature.
Yeah,
and a
maybe.
bunch of others.
Very possible. Also, I can imagine paladin oaths that are connected to specific Animar, kind of similar to Stormlight Archive. There's a spirit of conquest that is very powerful, so you can think about it as like a progenitor for an oath of conquest paladin, sending them on various conquests, perhaps. And yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's everything for
amazing.
now, at least.
Yeah.
We're going to be finished with chapter 2 very soon. In the next couple of weeks, I think we'll be done with it. And then we'll move on to develop some creatures, which you've already seen art for. So stay tuned. In the next stream, we'll talk more about probably more creatures, about the Animar themselves, their culture, behaviors. Some of this, maybe we'll be able to show you some stat blocks. Not sure about that. We'll see. And also what adventure modules you'll find in the Book of Spirits. We've started work on that as well. So stay tuned. There's a lot of exciting stuff happening.
Yeah. Okay. So, this is the stream for today. If you have any questions, join the Discord, ask questions. We also send regular updates on the Kickstarter. You can support the book on Back Your Kit. There are still a bunch of bundles. They'll stay for how long? Is it spring?
They'll stay until, I think, April, maybe. We need to start production so everything is ready by July to be delivered.
Yeah.
So don't wait up.
Get it.
Only, I think, early in 2025, you'll be risking it. It might still be there, but probably not for long. So don't wait up.
Everything is in the description. Just go look. Okay.
And we'll see you around. We'll see you on Discord, right? Come and talk with us about Dragon Age and Stormlight Archive, and the Book of Spirits, of course. And join the playtest. Join the playtest.
Join the playtest, please. we need to test everything. We need the resonance. Okay. Thank you everybody for joining us today.